Hello, today I figured we go ahead and build the, well, I had to decide whether to go through the Goliath or go with the KAYFUN. So we're going to go with the KAYFUN V6. We're going to make that a subohm burn. This is a KAYFUN V6, as you can see with the top off, of course. This is what it put the top on. We're going to go ahead and do that. We'll do the KAYFUN V6. And I'll start working with that one. Show you how to go and wrap it the safe way, how many loops and everything else. So we're going to burn between a 0.5 and a 0.9. So you can go ahead and push on a variable volt box and it'll burn nice and heavy. So let me go and get started on that. This is your KAYFUN V6. The thing on this is we're going to go ahead and unscrew it. This is what it looks like. It's typically your typical bottom. It comes with a choice of plugs, so you can actually take it out. It comes, as you can see, when you take it apart, you have your plug. You have your, just like your regular Heracles tank or your Arctic or anything like that. And we have this here plug. Now the plug is a rebuild plug. Now they only make this, I don't know why, for the Nautilus Aspire, but I mean, I don't know why they don't make it for the other tanks to do it, but I mean, you can't use it. They're all pretty much different. This is the plug here. Let me go ahead and unscrew that and get this out of the way. I'm going to start over fresh on this so you know. From wire, I'm going to use 24 gauge wire. And with the 24 gauge wire, I'll show you how many times it needs to be wrapped. Again, if you wrap it too many times, you're going to have too much resistance. If you wrap it not enough, you're not going to burn enough. So it's got to be a good number is anywhere between 6 and 8 wraps. At about, I don't use a 3/8 drill bit. I don't. That's just too thick for me. You're not building a drip addy. You're building a tank. So what I use is this size here. It's about the size of a 3mm silica wick. I use the diameter about that, or a 4 at the biggest. But 3 is about right. Or I'll take a 2mm wick and I'll fold it. And I'll wrap it like that. But this is the bit there. That's the piece there. And you see, notice, if you notice it up close, it's kind of offset. So you see it's offset a little bit, which is good. It's okay. It helps it easier. So we're going to do it like this. Let's go ahead and start on that. Let's get the coil wrap first. Let me get this out. 24 gauge cancel. Take a piece out about this long. Let me snap it off here with my toenail clippers. This is the piece that I use. It's about that long. Okay, so you got a piece about that long there. This is how long it is. It's about, you know, I'd say a good, there you go. I'll go ahead and take my piece here, my screwdriver here, and I'll start to wrap it like this. I'll hold on to the edge like this, how the edge is. I'll hold it right here. Piece. I'll take this. Like that. I'll grab it. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pull it through. I'll get the pair of pliers. Tighter. And I push this in. Okay. Now I'll have my coil. As you can see up close, there it is. Perfect, huh? Look at that. All by hand. See? There's your coil there, right there. Perfect. Sub-ohm coil. Let's go ahead and bite that off. Okay. And with that, I have the coil there. Take my tweezers. Let me get some tweezers here. There's a heavy-duty tweezer. Those cheap ones for 99 cents just don't do it. I mean, they're not strong enough sometimes. It's not when you're working with 24 gauge coils. So let's go ahead and straighten that out. And let me go ahead and let's a little bit better. There you go. So let me go ahead and angle this better there, the camera there, so it's a little better. I don't think you want to look at me anyways. So let's go ahead and get this right here. Now this is like that. Here's the coil. We're done. Okay, now we're going to take this and make sure it's dry on the inside of this thing here. So what we want to do is we want to get some cotton like here. You take the inside. Now this is a KAYFUN V6 clone. It's made out of, I got it from Fasttech. It's a Fasttech Addy, and I haven't had any problems with the Fasttech Addies. I'm going to dry that inside of that out with some cotton. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to plug this back in. I'm going to screw the plug back in, okay? So, let me screw this plug back in. Okay. Tighten it up a little bit here, like this. Okay. Finger tight, not too much. Now, I'm going to take the coil. That's 6 wraps, okay? I'm going to put the nicer end, of course. The nicer piece is going to be on my negative end, on my positive end. The one that I used to start off with on the end of the coil, I'm going to use that for my ground. I want to use the cleaner end for my positive, of course. In any case, let me go ahead and put this on here. And what I do is I find the center where the hole is first, and I bend the wire around it, the screw first, like that. And then I go like this with this one here. So when I get it on, it looks like that. I just bend the corners on, see? Just like that. So I bend the corners on just like that. I bend them on like that. Let me turn on a light so you guys can see better. I don't know why it's not so bright, but how's that? That might be better. Okay, here it is. Boom. Anyways, so now I bent the ends on there, right? That's how I do it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pliers, bend this side of it. It is 24 gauge, so you don't want to bend too much. When I bring it down, I guarantee you, by the time you're done doing what I'm doing here, you're going to always be sub-ohm. It's always under 1. I don't ever wrap anything that's going to be better than like that. It just seems to end up that way every time I wrap something, no matter what. I don't care what I use. Anyways, here's that. Now that's one end, and then let me get the ground set up. Like this. Bring this around. Okay, so I'll bring this around. Since it's a thick wire, it's kind of hard to. Okay, now I'm gonna take the pliers and pull it. Okay, so I have that. Okay, that's one end, and let me go ahead and take the positive end now. I mean my positive. Pull. So it's tight, so I screw it down one. There it is. Now that is where I'm at with this. As you see up close, I have I wrapped around the screw just right, and it's not loose, so it's not gonna miss. It's not gonna have a problem tightening down. It's not gonna go in between the coil, or it's gonna squeeze out, or any of that stuff. It's gonna go right on the coil, and that's it, 'cause it's tight around the base. So I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna go ahead and screw it down. Okay, and you want to screw it down tight, because when you're going to do what I'm going to do, and you're going to adjust your coil after it's on tight, you don't want it loose because it just won't tighten. So after this is on tight, okay, what you're going to do is we're going to snip this off now. Let me get my toenail clippers. I use toenail clippers. They just seem to be able to do. And I'm going to snip this off. One, and I'm going to snip this off here. Okay, 2. Okay, now I take a small screwdriver, a lot smaller than the loop itself, as you can see, right? And I take it, I lift it, and I turn it. Why do I do that? Because it pulls, for some reason, when it's flush like that, it actually makes it a tighter fit. I don't know why it does it. It just does it. Because, and it doesn't ruin the diameter any, but here's what it looks like after I'm done. So see, I take this. I always use a small one to make my coils nice at the end so I don't have to twist them. I put it in the hole like this, and I pull it, and I turn it. And for some reason, it falls nice and tight, microcoiled every time with just a tiny, thin screwdriver. And boom. And I use it just like that. Okay? Anyhow, so now that's what we got here. As you can see, there's really no space. It's nice and tight from a little thin screwdriver. Okay? Here we go. Now, that's that. Now let me go ahead and tighten this again. Make sure it's tight. It is tight. And this one needed to be tightened. See, it loosened up on me. So, now that's tight. Let me go ahead and put this back in again and do it again. Okay? There it is. Now it's on for good. Now it's really on there. So, now, what we're going to do is we're going to look over this. Now, what I'm going to do is get my own tester so you guys can see what it comes up as. Just out of curiosity, let's see what it comes up at. .43. 0.45. There it is. 0.45. I'm going to show you how this thing burns. Okay? Every time. Now, let me go ahead and get the coil in here. Let me go ahead and I take this piece of cotton like this. I use the Japanese wick I get from Fasttech as well. Fasttech has a lot of good stuff, dude, believe it or not. Even though they sell clones, there's nothing wrong with clones. There's not really nothing wrong with them at all. I like them. Okay, I take a little strip like this. Right? I roll it a little bit. Okay. Put a little moisture at the tip of one of them and feed it through. And there we go. Just like that. Let me add some juice to it and see what happens. I'll show you the burn on this thing so you see what my builds burn. This is my new mod I have available at the store. Well, this is the Trace Evil mod. It's my Trace Evil mod. Let me go and put this in here. Let's see what we got here. Ready? Look at that. Huh? Can't beat that. Huh? Burning nice and tight. Do it again. Perfect, huh? Can't beat that. That runs perfect. So, what I'm going to do is take that out. Now, because it did spark on fire a little bit, what we want to do is, all I want to do is take this extra wire that's hanging up over the stem and base it towards the plug, so it's the screw. So it's actually touching the screw. You never want that piece hanging off into the wire if it's not adjusted to the screw. You want it to touch the screw, at least the base where it's at. So there we go. Now let me go ahead and cut a piece of cotton that we can put on there. And that little spark is never going to happen again. And it'll burn nice. So now that it burns nice and strong like that, let's go ahead and build this cotton piece here. Okay. Go ahead and put this right here. And we're going to go ahead and mold this on here. See how thick this is. Okay, here we have some screw there. And here's this right here. Boom. So let me put this through. Boom. Here it is. I put two pieces. What I do is I bolt two pieces together like that. And then I put it through like that. Okay. So I get, there it is. You see it right there. Boom. There it is. Okay, now Let me go ahead and cut this off right here at the base here. One. Okay, here it is. Now we go ahead and juice it. Okay, there it is. Nice and juiced. Let me go ahead and do that. And we have this here working. Can't beat that, huh? That's what I'm talking about. Now that's vapor, huh? Alright. Now, go ahead and cover this. I'm going to go like this with the cover. You make sure when you put it on that the cotton is right up on the step. Okay, that's not going into the grooves, you know, into the channel, because you're really not trying to put them in the grooves. The cotton, you don't want to lay them in the grooves. That's what those grooves are for. The grooves are for the juice to be sucked up into the chamber. It's not for wick to be laid inside it. Those grooves are not for that, you know. So we're gonna go ahead and cover this, lock it down, boom, right, and then we're gonna go ahead and